What's good, all my trader and investor homies? In today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 3 penny stocks that are currently trading under $1 per share. When we're talking about penny stocks at this price, trading under $1, there are a lot of really bad companies. I mean, horrible, just scams of a company. But there are also a lot of good companies that are just being born. They're in their infancy. And if you can invest in these companies while they're just getting their business model formed out, they're building their foundation, they're getting that revenue up, then you can really find some massive growth, some high return investments. And when I mean high return investments, I mean like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%. But these are very speculative investments as well. So you have to do your research, you have to dig into these companies, look at the fundamentals, look at the business models, and you take a bet on them. And you know that some may fail, and that's a fact. But the ones that don't, the ones that make it, offer such huge upside that they overcome the ones that fail. So in today's video, I've done my scans, I've ran my scans, I've done my research on these 3 penny stocks under $1, and I think these stocks have a lot of potential. I think they have the potential to go to the moon. So we're going to be breaking down these 3 penny stocks from a fundamental business model and technical analysis perspective. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kevin. This is Touchdown Trades. I'm your trading BFF, your stock market bestie. Before we get started, I have one huge favor to ask, and that is to like the button, to just go down there and start clicking all the buttons. All right, let's jump into these penny stocks, these 3 penny stocks that are trading under $1 per share. And as always, let's secure that bag by making smart investments and sound trades. Let's get it. All right, trader and investor homies, let's talk about my top 3 penny stocks to invest in that are currently trading under $1. I think these are the kind of investments that you make. You buy them and you do your research, you do your due diligence, you have faith in the company, but you also know that it's a very speculative investment. This is not something that you want to invest a large portion of your portfolio in. This is kind of one of those home run trades or home run investments where you're looking to find a good company at ground level, invest, and if it goes up 1,000%, awesome. If it ends up not working out, it doesn't matter because you took a stab on it. And these are also the kind of investments that if you get into 3 of them, you really only need 1 of them to work out because of the high growth potential in these low priced penny stocks. All right, so we're going to be breaking them down, but before we get started, check out the link in the description after the video's over. If you're looking for a new broker, Webull is my top broker, and they're offering 3 free stocks. When you use my link that's in the description, deposit just $100 or more, and you get 3 free stocks valued up to $1,600. You could get a stock of Google, Facebook, Starbucks, and more. You can't beat that offer, so check that out after the video is over. Ticker number 1 is going to be IDEX. This is Ideanomics. This is an EV sector stock that is currently trading at 80 cents a share. It made a huge run up back here and ran up over $4 a share and has since pulled back. I like the business model of the company, which we'll talk about, and I like the chart that we're getting the opportunity to buy this stock on the pullback. You know the saying here is buy the dip, sell the rip, and we're getting the opportunity to buy the dip on this IDEX. Ideanomics, is a company focusing on monetizing the adoption of commercial electric vehicles, associated energy consumption, and developing financial services and fintech products. Its mobile energy global division provides financial services and incentives for commercial fleet operators, including group purchase discounts and battery pack buyback programs. So basically, if you've ever drove down the highway and you've seen one of those big dealerships, but it's not a normal common consumer car dealership, it's a dealership that has a bunch of big white trucks, that is a dealership that is selling to fleets. And what this Ideanomics is saying, their business model is that that's going to go away as more and more EV trucks come onto the market and these fleets shift to using EV. Ideanomics is basically the middleman. So instead of having the car dealership that tries to promote their gas trucks to the fleets, Over here are the fleets. Here's the car dealership. You have IDEX, which goes straight to the manufacturer, says, hey, I'm basically a car salesman without a brick and mortar store, and I want to sell to this fleet. Can you give me a discount? Let's say Workhorse, for example, says, yeah, we'll give you a discount. IDEX goes to the fleet. They say, okay, we need an order of 50. IDEX goes back to Workhorse and says, I need 50 of your trucks. And then IDEX gets it at a discount, and they're the middleman getting a piece of the pie that way. And they also help these fleets find financing, loans, so they're also making revenue via that route as well. Here we have the IDEX overview. So they are focused on facilitating the adoption of commercial electric vehicles by fleet operators, like we just talked about, provide full service procurement and financing services to fleet operators, then market charging energy services to our customer base. So what they're saying is, first, they find the electric trucks for the fleets. Second, they find them financing. And third, after they sell the trucks to the fleets, they try to sell charging solutions to the fleet as well. So it's basically a full service process. This is a U.S. company headquartered in New York with offices in China as well, Ukraine and Malaysia. So they say they have a goal of replacing fleets by 2040. Global small van and truck demand to increase 50%. Global heavy good transport demand to increase 57%. Global municipal e-bus fleet to grow 300% by 2040. So they're saying that by 2040, the EV market for these fleets, for buses, all this stuff is going to increase substantially in the coming years. A rising tide lifts all boats, and IDEX is going to be trying to market these EV trucks to these fleets that have yet to be introduced to the EV market. Here we have a breakdown of their commercial EV sales. So group EV sales, I think that's going to be a big chunk of their revenue. Fee-based revenues from financing. So basically hooking up these fleets with lenders, they're going to get a piece of that cut. So if they find a fleet that needs 50 trucks, that needs financing for it, they connect that fleet to a lender. The lender is going to pay IDEX for the referral. Let's take a look at the chart here. So we can see, I got a weekly chart pulled up, that this thing made a nice run from the 27-cent area all the way up to $4 a share, but we're getting the opportunity to buy this sucker at a pullback, and it's currently trading at about 82 cents a share. We're coming into some nice support areas. I think we don't crack this 60-cent level, so I'm going to be using 60 cents as my risk. I think this is a good under-the-radar EV stock and EV play that's kind of gone unnoticed since this big run-up. And I see this stock as benefiting as EV grows, this company grows, and it is a nice, I think the risk to reward ratio is there, and it's a nice investment. So I'm going to be looking to watch this stock near the 60, 70 cent area and looking for this thing to break back up towards 250. Stock number 2 is going to be this MYSZ, MYSZ. MYSZ develops and commercializes mobile device measurement solutions for e-commerce, fashion, apparel, shipping, parcel, and do-it-yourself industries. They are based in Israel. So basically what they do is, if you're looking to buy clothing online, you can use this app, the MYSZ MySize app, measure your measurements so you make sure you're buying the right sized clothing. So they are in the fashion sector. We have perfected the online shopping by giving your shoppers what they want, their size every time. My size ID, user friendly. So basically, they're going to be trying to sell this to online retailers as a promotion. So if you're, let's say, for example, you're on Nike.com, not saying they have a deal with Nike, but you're on Nike.com and you want to buy a jacket and some sweatpants, you can measure with my size and make sure you're getting the right size clothing. Also, delivery and parcel. Courier companies increase efficiency by giving their employees a quick, easy tool to measure packages. So if you're in the business of shipping stuff, you can measure the package, make sure it is good to go. In DIY, for example, you want to build some furniture, put it in your house, you can measure the space and it makes sure that it's going to fit in the area you want to put it in. So the investor presentation says that $8.4 billion in e-commerce apparel returns happen every single year. So MYSZ is going to be able to market themselves to e-commerce retailers and say, hey, look, pay us a fee. You can use our technology, our app, and it's going to decrease the amount of returns you get back. It's also going to give the consumer the confidence that they're buying the right size clothing. Another interesting fact is they give their customers the opportunity to do a pay-per-click model. The retailer really has no risk involved. Say you want to go to MYSZ and you want to sell your software to MYSZ. You say, hey MYSZ, we'll give you this technology on your website, and if nobody uses it, you don't pay. The only time you pay us is whether your customers use the MYSZ app to get their measurements. That is a pretty interesting selling point, and I think that's going to be able to allow them to get this marketing underway and market to more and more online retailers. The MYSZ ID engine monthly traffic has increased 2,400% in the last 6 months, February, and then we have just exponential growth in the amount of people using this technology. So it's obviously some pretty intuitive, disruptive technology. We know that online retail is the future, e-commerce is the future, and it's a known fact that people are kind of skeptical to buy clothing online because they want to make sure that it fits. So I think the technology is cool and they're onto something, and I think it's worth an investment. We're not sure that this is the company that's going to be able to get this done, but I think something like this is going to be a big thing in the future. So I think this is one of those investments that's either going to blast off, go up a few %, or it's one of those investments that's not going to work out and it's really going to be bad. But like I said, you don't want to throw all your eggs in one of these low-priced penny stocks. These are one of those things where you buy it, you hold it forever, and then maybe 10 years down the road, it's worth 100 times more than when you bought it. And I think MYSZ is one of those opportunities where something like that could happen. So when I look at the chart here, we can see it did have a nice run up and ran up over $3.40 a share. It has since pulled back, and we're getting the opportunity to buy the dip and sell the rib, baby. So I'm going to be looking to buy this thing from the 90 to 80 cent area. We have some nice support in that area, a lot of volume traded there. You can see the big volume bars. So I think that area is going to act as support, and we'll look for this thing to bounce back up. And this is going to be a buy and hold for me. It's kind of just like a stab at this technology and see where it goes. Third and final ticker is going to be this NAKD. It's an online clothing retailer that probably has the ugliest stock chart that I've ever seen. This is a stock that if you look at the daily chart, you can't even look at it because it's dropped so hard. So we got to look at a 4-hour chart. And this thing has just been dropping. And this is one of those companies that may go out of business and may have to file for bankruptcy. But if it survives, say it's 50-50, right? So let's say 50% this company goes out of business and goes to zero. 50% that it survives. If it survives, this is a $6, $7 stock. So the risk to reward ratio is there. You don't, like I said, these are speculative investments, so you don't load up on these. These are very small percentages in your portfolio, and if they work out, if one of these three works out and the other two go to zero, you're still going to make a lot of money because of the type of investment that this is. So like I said, it's an online clothing retailer, women's intimate clothing, and it's had a rough time, but it had sales last year of almost $60 million with a market cap of just $7 million. So like I said, there's a chance of bankruptcy here, but there's also a chance of a buyout, and there's also a chance of this company cutting the fat and surviving and not going out of business. And if that happens, this is a stock that's going to go up 5,000% literally. If this company survives, it's going up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10,000%. But you got to realize there's also the chance that it does file for bankruptcy. So that's just something to be aware of. Me personally, I don't even know how a company like this could go out of business that's doing $60 million of sales. In my opinion, I could run this company. You just cut all brick and mortar stores, you cut the fat, you hire 5 guys to run the website, you outsource the clothing, and it's just so easy. So I like to buy these low price retail names that have just failed and there's talk of bankruptcy, because I think there's a way to do this right, and this company could come back and survive and one day be a $3 or $4 stock. And if this is a $3 or $4 stock, that means it's up a few thousand%. So I think the risk to reward is there. It's not one of those things that you want to have a big percentage of in your portfolio, but I do like this as a dart throw in my high risk percentage of my portfolio. All right, guys, that is going to wrap things up. I hope you guys got something from the video. If you did, make sure to like the button for me. It tells YouTube that these videos provide value and helps to grow the channel. If you're not yet a subscriber, please subscribe. What are you waiting on? And hit that notification bell so you get alerted every time I post a video. Also, check out the link for the 3 free stocks from Webull when you sign up using my link and deposit $100. I'm not sure how much longer that promotion is going to be going, so you're going to want to act on that and get those 3 free stocks valued up to $1,600. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Until next time, peace out, homies.